On the 14th of February 2023, just a few days after hosting a successful Indoor Hockey World Cup, the South African Hockey Association had a very special Valentine's gift to not only South African hockey fans, but also to the South African national players. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you will know that this news is that the South African Hockey Association have decided to withdraw from the 2023-24 Men's FIH Pro League without even consulting with the players and coaching staff that worked so hard to win the FIH Nations Cup and qualify on merit for the Pro League back in December of 2022. Being South African myself and having this platform to voice concern on this topic, I felt a responsibility to create this video and shed some light on the problems inside the South African Hockey Association. In this video, I'll be looking at the backlash from players and fans, SAHA statement, and give my honest opinion on the situation. The decision was immediately met with massive backlash from fans and players alike. Players like Dayan and Mustafa Kasim, Keenan Horn, and many others have come forward to publicly criticize this shocking decision. Here's what Horn had to say via Instagram and Twitter. After 2 years of massive strides with the national team, one cannot feel like the decision to withdraw from the Pro League 23-24 by our association will set back our team tremendously and undo all the hard work and sacrifice by our team, players, management, and volunteers. He went on to add, we travelled to Potchefstroom with a number of seasoned players unavailable, represented our country to the best of our ability, won the damn thing, and then get told after a decision was already made that we withdrew. A petition to the South African Minister of Sport has also been created, and at the time of recording, it already has over 6,000 signatures, which shows the immense interest and support for field hockey as a sport in South Africa. I'll be linking the petition in the description below if you would also like to voice your concern and disappointment. On 15 February 2023, SAHA released a statement following the immense public backlash. In the statement, they said the following. Following the South African hockey men's victory at the FIH Nations Cup in Potchefstroom, the team has earned a spot in the FIH Pro League, subject to a specific financial obligations being met by the January deadline, and as a result, we could not keep our place in this competition. Since the beginning of 2022, the South African Hockey Association secured funding to pay for the Men's Pro League, the Aslan Shah Cup in Malaysia, the Men's and Women's Nations Cup, as well as both Men's and Women's World Cup events. We won the Men's Nations Cup at the beginning of December, and the due date for submission to the FIH was on the 16th of January 2023. With the short timelines and our ability to communicate effectively was compromised. The South African Hockey Association is immensely proud of the strides that our national hockey teams are making, and we are simultaneously disappointed that we could not secure a sponsor to support the positive progress of our men's program and having our team play in the Pro League 23-24 with those short timelines. As a national federation, our annual revenue is less than the amount required to fulfill the minimum financial requirements by the FIH to enter into the Pro League, approximately 10 million rand. However, discussions will be held with the team as we continue working to give them the best opportunity to maintain their positive trend. We hope that the results of our teams as well as the result at the Indoor Hockey World Cup will open the eyes of corporate South Africans to the opportunity of supporting the efforts of our national teams. As the South African Hockey Association, we have 8 national teams to take care of with limited funding, hence players having to pay for certain events and preparation for events. Now, the hockey world is well aware of how financially unsuitable the FIH Pro League is to compete in, but the statement and excuses is simply not good enough. SAHA should have been aware of the possibility for the team to qualify for the Pro League, as this was the entire point of the Nations Cup. Therefore, it could have been possible to look for sponsorship agreements before the tournament for the possibility of qualifying for the Pro League. SAHA also blamed short timelines for the failure of securing sponsorship, but there were never any public announcements seeking for sponsorship, and this is the main reason why the news has come as such a surprise. When you look at the timeline of events, a few things simply fail to add up. South Africa won the Nations Cup on the 4th of December 2022, also known as the day SAHA knew the men's team qualified for the 23-24 FIH Pro League. Following this, the due date to submit to the FIH was on the 16th of January 2023, more than a month after qualifying. SAHA claimed they failed to acquire the approximate 10 million rand required to enter the competition. This leaves us with the big question of why it was only announced via the FIH almost a month later. SAHA had more than enough time to inform the public and the players on the situation, but decided to play victim when the news finally came out via an FIH announcement. The lack of funding is also raising massive uproar in South Africa, especially after the 900 million rand proposal to Tottenham Hotspur by the South African Tourism Council, with many people questioning why not even a very small chunk of that money could have been used to support one of South Africa's own international teams. The South African Sport Minister, Natim Tetwa, has also come out to criticize SAHA on their decision. Here is what he had to say. The Department of Sports, Art and Culture is pleased with the successful hosting of the Indoor Hockey World Cup, where both men's and women's teams performed well. For that reason, we were taken aback by the news of SAHA's decision not to take up the FIH invitation for them to occupy a slot in next season's FIH Pro League. While it is understood that funding towards international competition is always in short supply, we would have preferred to be forewarned about these developments. Nevertheless, we still engage with SAHA to be enlightened about their decision. There is no doubt that this decision will have a massive impact on the growth and improvement of field hockey in South Africa and also overshadows all the success of the recent Indoor Hockey World Cup. After massive steps in the right direction in recent years, you can't help but feel that this decision undoes all that work and progress. Tell me, what do you think about this shocking decision by SAHA, and what can be done in the future to avoid situations like this in the comments down below.